that aside, let's talk about Barbie. Greta Gerwig's Barbie, which is out now. So, did you know that a Barbie movie has been on the cards for some time?
I've heard rumblings.
In 2009, Mattel signed a deal with, I believe, Sony to make a Barbie movie. That went through production, then that eventually fell through. Then Amy Schumer was attached to write and star in. And the director who was attached with that was speaking about it, about how difficult it was. And she was saying that, you know, even 10 years ago, the feminist discourse, rather, was still much different to how it is today. And everyone was very focused on doing like a girl boss, badass success story that kind of undermined what made Barbie who she was originally, right? It kind of like was a massive step away from the brand identity without trying to reconcile the brand identity. And they were very much aware that like the Lego movie had come out and they'd done it so well. Anyway, that fell through. Later, Anne Hathaway was attached. Patty Jenkins at one point was floating around it. And even though she didn't end up being involved, Margot Robbie has apparently since said that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman was a big step in helping to get films like this made.
Wow, that is
ultimately, after Little Women, Greta Gerwig became attached, and Margot Robbie obviously is involved as a producer. And then Greta Gerwig not only directs this, but writes this alongside her creative partner, Noah Baumbach, who obviously wrote and directed many other films, Marriage Story, etc. And so we get Barbie. And anyone who knows Greta Gerwig, who has enjoyed Lady Bird and has enjoyed Little Women as we have, will know that she is a creative talent, both as an actor and a writer and a director, brimming with ideas and creativity, and is a real new voice that we all have enjoyed watching. I mean, I say all, but I speak for us definitely that we love Greta Gerwig.
It's great in White Noise that came out this year as well.
Oh, right. That's absolutely. I didn't see that. Of course, Noah Baumbach's film. So, Barbie, Mattel's Barbie, made with the collaboration of the toy company Mattel and
featuring Mattel.
Featuring Mattel.
Well,
And, Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig, they write this screenplay, which is so bold and meta and strange that Margot Robbie reads and goes, this is fantastic, but of course, they'll never get made. She has since publicly said how great Mattel was. I mean, obviously she has to say how great Mattel was. They're paying the bill. But she has said she was surprised at how collaborative and open they were to this direction and how much of it they were able to keep in the final cut. So, Greta Gerwig's Barbie is this. We are in Barbie Land. Barbie Land is a place where Barbies exist. And there are all kinds of Barbies. There's stereotypical Barbie, played by Margot Robbie. But there's also Senator Barbie, President Barbie, Astronaut Barbie, Pilot Barbie, Barbies wherever you look. Hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Barbie. Everything is pink and wonderful, and everyone's house is a Barbie house. Probably a reference to a different, collection. I'm sure that, if you are a niche collector of Barbies, loads in there, loads of stuff in there for you. Everything is great. Everything is pink and fabulous, and everyone gets on, and women are empowered, and it's this utopian society, and everything is great.
Barbie can be anything.
Barbie can be anything, and they are everything, and everyone's great. You also have, on the sidelines, a few Kens, played by Ryan Gosling and
Simulia.
Thank you from Shang-Chi, and also Alan. Michael Cera as the character of Alan, just the one Alan. And in this world, it's all fun and party and beach ball, and then what happens is Margot Robbie's Barbie suddenly, out of nowhere, gets a creeping sense of self-awareness, a creeping sense of her existential place within this universe, thoughts of death and the beyond, and what it all means. Plagued by these thoughts, she visits Weird Barbie, Kate McKinnon, who lives like the wise Greek figure up in a Weird Barbie house.
Permanently in the splits.
Yes. And Kate McKinnon, as Weird Barbie, explains to her that there is Barbie world and there is the real world. And what is happening might be related to the real world. And you, Barbie, might have to go to the real world to sort what is happening with you. Otherwise, bad things will happen. That is as far as I'll go in terms of plot. And you can use your imagination and piece together the rest about what happens next. So, James, that's the setup for Barbie. Greta Gerwig's Barbie. It's pink. It's fabulous. It's there. It's arrived. It's here. What are your thoughts?
We have already sort of half covered my first how I frame going in to talk about this film, which is that it is no longer just a film, this Barbie phenomenon. I think it has grown so much larger than just a piece of cinema. When I look at the clear, huge marketing endorsed spend that's gone in ahead of this,
yes,
it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Yes, please.
$143 million budget with estimated $70 million on marketing and tie-ins. I mean, that's half the film's budget, basically. And anyone who's walked down a street in the world recently will have seen countless brand activations and integrations from it, like Airbnb to...
I literally, when I walk down the street or go on the internet, I feel like, oh, hi, Barbie.
Yes,
like seeing the ad on the bus. Oh, hi, Barbie.
Yeah.
Like the clothing brand integration. Oh, hi, Barbie. Confectionery, everything.
Yes.
I am like completely...
Barbified.
Barbified. You add that with the thing we both experienced, this people turning up in pink, having this buzz of excitement in the cinema that I can't quite relate to anything else before. And I do get this sense that like the film is now like needing to match the energy going in.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this film is that, you talked about Mattel and the film sort of being, in development for a long time. It is not just a film. It feels like it is both a complete brand rejuvenation of an otherwise dormant IP and a redefining of what Barbie means in 2023. And so this sense of excitement. And the film opens to what I have to describe as stunning production design. Plot, anything else aside, the reveal of Barbie's dream house, the plastic world, the sort of old studio style flat black drop lighting. I was completely in awe of it. And I went to see it with both my sisters, and my middle sister, who's like 3 years older than me, used to play with Barbies a lot. And there are a couple of moments where like Hal's reveals happened. Like the fold out, like the medical thing in the house where she went, because she still had that sense of wonder of like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this. I'd never really seen anything like Toys to Life done like that before. Toy Story represents something really different. This was like in the real world, knock on the plastic.
Yes.
I just thought it was completely, everyone's eyes just
Lego
widened.
movie?
Lego movie, yeah, but there was
more animation-y, isn't it? Stop motion,
kind
of, yeah.
What started is a film that I think matches the energy of the people in the room. And I think it's a script that I enjoyed seeing, was really sharp and really smart. And I thought, oh, this is like one of those smart, dumb films. Like, like Team America was like really stupid, but like it's such a smart film for its time, I think. I've not seen it in a really long time.
Romy and Michelle's high school reunion as well, I would say.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, this is just like such a huge satire, but it's really, really smart, and I can tell. And it's a real attempt to make a movie about a fantastical world interacting with our own. And, seeing Barbie's dream house set, amazing. I think Margot Robbie is brilliant in this. She's weirdly perfect casting for it, which is like almost acknowledged in the film. I think there's a lot she has to do in it in terms of playing this version of Barbie that we know, coming to terms with like self-realization and becoming conscious, and then like realizing what to do with that new perspective. Ryan Gosling's Ken.
Wow, yes.
It's probably, and I really like Ryan Gosling, one of his best ever roles.
I think so, yeah.
And we've seen him do funny before.
Have we? Have we seen like The Nice Guys, maybe Crazy Stupid Love, but I think this is his most physical comedic performance. Yeah.
And you can tell he just threw himself into it. And Ken made me laugh consistently throughout the entire film. And I think, look, you can tell that this has been written and made by people that have something to say. Yeah. It is not a hollow and thin script.
A corporate exercise.
It's not like, I actually found, I said this when I reviewed Mario, that I felt like it was a bit corporate approved. I felt like it was very safe. I wanted more of satire. This really didn't feel like fingerprints had been over it at all. So I do get the sense that this is very pointed and very direct. And it's a really wonderful satirization of not just Barbie world, but our own world. And it represents as a really fun extreme of both. I think if I was to be quite brutal, I'd say that there are certain moments where different parts in the world don't quite land. And I'm a little bit confused about some of the sequences feeling a bit tonally spliced. I'm not quite sure where they land. I think towards the end, the film does feel a little bit burdened by how much it tries to solve. The film covers so much, and it gives me so much to laugh at and so much to think about. I have a couple of moments towards the end where I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. And I'm still having a great time, but I think you've maybe just gone so far in with it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like, bring me back down. It's like you've zoomed out too much.
It's a tightrope walk.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think mostly it really does succeed. But that ultimately, I think it manages weirdly to work for people who love Barbie and people who hate Barbie. Like you could dip in and be the first. I think that's a really smart place to line. I think it's a wickedly smart ridiculing of humanity and the weird creations we have and how we like to play and assign ideas of gender.
And not a kids' film.
No, it really isn't.
There was probably a 6-year-old girl in my screening, and I felt like saying,
"It's true. I didn't think about that. It's not.
It's like
film.
Fantastic Mr. Fox,
and
I
a lot
don't
of it
think
would
that's
be lost on you.
I think it's probably like 13 up, and that's not or 12. I don't want to insult the intelligence of children.
No, that's true.
I'm not saying that.
I think a lot of it's made for young girls.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's nothing that kids can't engage in this, but I think that its maximum level is writ large on an adult audience, and just to hear the laughters and the reaction in the room.
It's not a Trolls movie.
No, not at all.
Nothing against Trolls.
But it's not also one of those films. I don't think it was also split where it was like this bit for the kids, this bit for the adults, this bit for the kids. I think it was much more. I would say I agree with everything you say. I think that it's when you say it's made with an idea, it's so clear that Greta Gerwig has been like, if you bring me in, let me do my thing, because I'm not interested in making a hollow exercise. And it is a real tightrope to walk, because there have been other examples of films where you let in someone who wants to make things meta, absurd, self-referential, and it can fall flat in its face. And I never got the sense that it was ever going to tip over, even when I agree, where the balance between its message and its story become a little bit uneven.
Just about starting.
I had so much confidence in Gerwig's vision and idea and belief in her that I still enjoyed her company. And actually, that's a big thing. I really enjoy spending time with Greta Gerwig as a presence, as a filmmaker throughout this whole film. I think that it's clear in so many ways that she loves filmmaking and she loves cinema. There are so many references, like, for example, the Mattel boardroom, she has said is Dr. Strangelove. It's the same table instead of Dr. Strangelove. There's a Kubrickian opening and Kubrickian corridors. There's some Jacques Demy references as well. If you can go online and read all about the references. For me, I got a bit of Elf. Not just because the Will Ferrell. Obviously, the Lego movie, the third act of the Lego movie informs, I think, the whole of this.
Toy Story 3 thing of don't throw away your toys.
Yes.
Very much
also, if anyone has seen the Hal Ashby film Being There, I think there's a touch of that as well with Peter Sellers.
Big as well.
Big, yes, absolutely. Apparently even things like the Red Shoes, Adam and Eve, the story of Adam and Eve as well. And Greta Gerwig talks about being, raised at a Catholic school, and maybe that has informed her. But actually, the whole thing about Eden and self-awareness, suddenly becoming self-aware, and
a greater plane existing beyond our own,
exactly,
control of something.
I agree. I love all things with Ken. What I love is that there were jokes relating to Ken and masculinity and the patriarchy that I saw it with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That only I found very, very funny. And
Right,
she maybe laughed, or it might have gone completely over her head. But conversely, there were jokes that went over my head that she found really funny, relating to womanhood and femininity and feminism, which is great. I love that sometimes, and it felt like a little thing for me. And some of the observations and the skewering of men is brilliant. And there's a whole interaction between Will Ferrell, who's just doing the most Will Ferrell in the best possible way performance ever. I can see Greta Gerwig being like, this role needs Will Ferrell, and Will Ferrell being like, do you want me to do Will Ferrell? And
you can call me mother.
His interaction with Barbie in the Mattel headquarters is just like so funny, and just sends up like male pack mentality in the most silliest fun, but also like, gloves on way. Not it's not below the belt. It's not that would matter, but I just think that's really, really charming.
I also think Will Ferrell's casting and comedic style also helps the audience understand that the real world in the Barbie movie is also surrealist.
Yes.
Like this boardroom with like likes of Jamie Demetriou, who I really enjoyed in there. Like this also is like completely nuts.
Yes.
And it's also to be taken with a pinch of salt.
Yes.
It's an impression of our real world.
Well, exactly. And going into Barbie, I really didn't know what to expect, because obviously we know Greta Gerwig has such a strong style. And I'm so glad that the film has been able to deliver, again, mostly successfully, absurdist, surrealist, meta kind of commentary that works with the brand. I laughed a good few times. Michael Cera, great to have him in this.
He's
a great walk-on moment with Rob Brydon. Just did you see
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
little
did see.
blinking you'll miss at Rob
Sugar
Brydon?
Daddy Ken, yeah.
But I think there's so much to enjoy, and I really enjoyed spending time with Greta Gerwig and her company in this. And I 2/3 of the way through, not just because of the hacking cough to my left, but I was like, I really look forward to rewatching this because it is made so meticulously and so detailed. I want to pick it all up.
Great visual gags as well.
And also, I think on a deeper level, what I really was warmed by is that for all its slight imbalance, that it's made Greta Gerwig. You said about it's made for people who love Barbie, and then like you understand. Greta Gerwig, I just think in this film, the film is able to emulate such a pride and love and warmth for women.
Yeah.
That it's really heartwarming just to be kind of witness to that.
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig's love and of womanhood and women is just like, there's one particular moment towards the end, we can talk about this in the spoiler chat, where that kind of comes through. And I thought that was wonderful. And it's refreshing. It's so refreshing to have this kind of inventive presence. So I just want to kind of dive back in and watch it again.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, it's sort of what I said before about, even as problematic as Barbie has been known, we haven't recovered this, but like Barbie as a brand and
Yes.
it's like as a child's toy or little girl's toy, representing women as like this version has been
objectified, high beauty standards,
unrealistic, ridiculous beauty standards. That's been something that's like, if you're not like, for a long time, it's been, I'd say, out of fashion. I'm not a little girl. I don't have a daughter that I would buy toys for, so I'm really out of the loop. But from what I'm aware, it's not considered like the most cool toy to get for your little girl right now. Right? So, but that there is no doubt that people of Greta Gerwig's age and 10 years plus and minus would have played and loved Barbies. Despite them being problematic, you can tell that everyone still had this wonder of playing dress up, playing fantasy. And you just do see that. You do see that regardless of like how problematic this is, there is something incredibly beautiful and special about like dressing someone up and playing with them in a world, creating a fantasy where everything's okay. And that that the film indulges that fantasy for people. And that's a really cool thing to like figure out.
It makes you realize that Barbie is so iconic. It's a word that, like Beatles, it's just like the Beatles, not the insect, obviously, but it's so iconic and filled with so just down to one word, Coca-Cola. I think the understanding. You're right. It's funny that to have a brand that is that iconic, but also has been that dormant.
Yeah.
No other Barbie film, to my knowledge, has been.
And I'm not talking about like the kids ones that go out for like this 45 minutes long. I mean like Barbie film. Like just think, that moment where Ken gets like injured in inverted commas.
Oh yes.
And it's like they go to the medical thing and it opens up and he gets like the scan. It's like, oh, I guess I'm okay, because that's how a child playing who sent Ken to hospital would treat Ken, and he'd be fixed within about 80 seconds.
I will say in the first act, I was enjoying it, but it was so distinct and unique in its own voice. I was with it, but I was in my head. I was like, "What?"
It's a lot.
I'm
singing
just
number.
That's the thing. That's why I think I also enjoy it on a second viewing, because I think I was kind of. You just want to. This first viewing, you're kind of gazing at what Gerwig is doing and the whole world, and you want to be part of it. And so in that first act, when they're building the world of the Barbie, I was like, I'm just trying to work out what the rules are here and how the world works and everything. But I'm sure when I go back in the second viewing, I'll know all of that. And I'll be able to see the deeper, funnier, more intrinsic things. Here's an email about Barbie from Travis, who says, "Hi Barbies. I started listening to you guys on my way to a half marathon a few months ago, and I've listened ever since. I associate the pod with that great memory now.
Nice.
I've written in before, but I haven't got it. I've written in before, but you haven't gotten to it yet, so no worries. Sorry, Travis. We do have a lot, and
we have to prioritize the Barbie.
we have to prioritize the Barbie one. So we're getting to this one first. Anyway, I just watched Barbie last night. Firstly, I want to say that I really felt connected to the audience as a whole and felt like part of an experience. Normally in theatres, I try to switch off and go full tunnel vision and ignore everyone else in the room. But watching Barbie, though, it felt like everyone was having a great time, and I didn't feel the need to do this. And it felt like a collective rather than an individual. That's amazing.
That's such a cool.
That's exactly what we're kind of touching on
phenomenon,
here.
yeah.
That is what cinema is at its heart, and I think it's.
Have you
great
heard
to have
everyone's?
that.
I mean, you said it today. Like people have been saying, "Cinema's back." Because literally 2 weeks ago, we were like, cinema might be dead. I know we weren't saying that, but he was like, well, I think I've become very simple. So very simple about this. The films that are good are doing well.
Yes. The films that are bad.
All the analysis about, is it the streamers? Is it the pay? No. The films that are good are doing well.
I think it's also goes to show that the fate of cinema is in the audience's hands.
Yeah.
Right? Don't try to think you're smarter than an audience. Don't think that the audience will let you know. Trust the audience to inform your decision. Anyway, secondly, Travis writes, I had no idea about the plot going in. Neither did I, actually. I had no idea about the whole
I knew
concept.
she was going to go into the real world.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay. I had no idea about the plot going into it and had a complete open mind and was thoroughly surprised. The cinematics were amazing. The cinematics were amazing. The cinematics is a descriptor? Yeah. I've never heard that. What, like just...
is it no?
The cinematic what? The
I'll
cinematics.
give it to you.
Do you mean
I'll
like
give it to
the
you.
cinematography? The cinematics?
Yeah.
Just the general cinema vibe? What does that mean?
Well, if you have a cinematic... I think it works, yeah.
The cinematics were amazing and didn't feel cheap or childish. It felt it very comfortably fit into this perfect slot in my mind of knowing what it is, not taking itself too seriously, but also not going completely the other direction either. I knew exactly what it was. Yeah, you can almost respond to it quite intuitively. Yeah. Again, I can't overstate some of the shots I saw, and we'll be looking out for Greta Gerwig's work in the future. I think going in with zero expectations for this film and no knowledge of the plot is exactly the way to do this. Yeah. We have been trying to... we've not revealed anything more than you would have got in a trailer. Less than, actually. We've been very minimal on the plot detail in this review. I don't really have a question for you guys, but just wanted to expand my thoughts and send that in. So, love the pod. Sirens on our end. Travis from Ireland. Thank you, Travis, on Barbie.
Guys, we have plenty of Barbenheimer emails from you, but I'm sure many of you will be getting to the films in the coming weeks. If you did have impressions on Barbie, please do send them in to hello@pulpkitchenpodcast.com. We'd love to sort of keep getting feedback about them in the coming weeks.
And do you think we got it right? Did we miss something?
I do have something to say. There has been a sort of criticism of the film from certain types of people on the internet.
Right-wing conservatives, yeah.
Basically, this criticism that the Barbie film is presenting gender roles in an incredibly reductive and simplistic view, especially towards men.
I completely disagree.
And I think, like, when I see that and I see it's a massive satire, right? Because I indulged some of these reviews for like a few minutes just to be like, let me see your point here. And basically they're saying that the depiction of Ken and men in general being like emotionally volatile and stupid, and I'm always like, do you understand that, like, yes, Barbie represents an extreme world, but the real world they present to you is also not real and kind of meant to be. It is a satire. It is meant to, like, poke fun at everything that we've done and make it laugh. As a man, I never felt, like, personally attacked by, like...
I think, can I say, if you're a man and you watch Barbie, or, I mean, these people probably wouldn't watch Barbie, but if you're a man and you watch Barbie and you feel threatened or, or misrepresented, I think...
And you think you, in any way, are representative of, like, those men.
I think you've got bigger issues
and also, I think, like, for women, like, that idea of femininity is also like incredibly strange.
I thought the jokes about men in the film were very, very funny. And like we're all aware of it. It's like it doesn't. Yeah, it's not consensus. It's just I
love there's a moment where he goes to like a corporate job. And he goes to this guy. He's like, "Hi, I'd like a job." And he's like, "Well, do you have an MBA?" "No." "Well, if you get one, we can give you one." And he's like, "You guys are not doing patriarchy very well." And he's like, "Well, we actually are. We're just a lot more subtle about it now." Like, oh, that's so funny. I think this idea that like men are secretly like doing the patriarchy behind
playing
the back.
the face of being good, but actually,
that's very funny.
That is very funny. Yeah, of course it is. Just look at the news. I think that the whole Ken subplot with the Ken sort of realization, I hadn't expected at all.
No, and
I think. The whole point that the Ken thing builds to, I think, is really... We'll get into that. But that is, guys, that is our Barbie review. We'll watch out for the spoiler one coming out later this week, but let us know your thoughts and we'll get to them. That was Barbie.